I get props to Mike Ferrantino and the guys from Love in Reverse for giving me that theme song over 3 years ago. It's been a long, crazy journey from where we started, and I blame him. I have to blame him completely for this. Hey, I'm Rob Acampora. This is the A Game. We are at A Shared Universe Studios in Red Bank, New Jersey, and this was my first guest. And it's only fitting that in the month of June, as I'm saluting View Askew, who have been so supportive of this podcast, and they really have, to bring Ming back this time around with a lot of interesting things going on in your life. I think it's good timing to have you back.
Oh, thank you, man. Seems like yesterday we started humble beginnings at our Boardwalk studio in Asbury Park.
That's exactly where my first episode was.
Yeah, bright future ahead of us. We were like, 2020 is our year,
Yes!
man. This could be awesome.
And then literally within 10 days after I debuted, the world shuts down.
Yeah.
It was just crazy.
Insane.
I don't think I ever had the chance to ask you this because it's been, 3 years since you've come on this. I haven't asked you in any other episode. How did you handle the pandemic? Because for you, your life was all about being at the ComicCon conventions.
Yes.
Doing podcast. I mean, you increased your podcasting at that point.
Luckily.
Luckily. But that was the thing that was probably keeping you the most sane, I would think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, our business model was built on this, face-to-face.
Right.
Prior to 2020, we welcome podcasters, wanted to help them launch and record their podcasts. But we had a whole philosophy where we want everyone to be in the same room.
Right.
Like everyone's looking at their phones. Everyone, no one really talks to each other anymore, right?
It's true.
It's all texting. I can't remember the last time I actually talked to someone on the phone. Like we just don't really do it anymore.
No, we don't. It's true.
So it was cool to bring people together to talk face to face with voice.
Mm-hmm.
And when the pandemic hit, it was like, whoa, that's all wiped out. Like we weren't allowed to do that.
Right.
And I remember the day the governor's like, no businesses are supposed to be open. I'm in the studio. I'm throwing gear into duffel bags. In my mind, they said shutdown, right? So I'm imagining like Red Dawn, martial law.
Exactly. Wolverines!
Yeah. Avenge me! Yeah, I'm imagining like the military patrolling the streets, not letting one
We don't
out.
know any better. It made sense. It could,
Yeah, it turns out I watched too many movies. But, but I remember I panicked for maybe 4 hours that day. I'm like, well, what are we going to do? Right. Like we can't, our whole business model has been smashed to bits. How are we going to survive? And then I was like, wait, well, we've done remote, we've brought people together online.
Right.
Wasn't really a popular thing back then. Like, maybe no one knew what a Zoom was back then.
No, nobody was familiar with a Zoom or a SoundCloud. Not SoundCloud. I'm sorry. StreamYard.
Yeah.
And doing it that way.
Yeah.
And now here we are in 2023. You can watch any news network now, and you'll see via Zoom in the corner.
Yeah, everyone's using it.
Yeah.
So we moved everybody online, and actually we did pretty good business because no one had anything else to do. This is true. And a lot of people who had been like, hey, I want to start a podcast. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden they did. So, they had nothing else to do. So we showed them how to do it. So it was pretty cool.
I think that's the thing I noticed. The first year there was so much traction. Obviously, when life started opening up again, podcasting was still there, but the volume that we were getting has gone down a little bit.
Yeah.
And it really has been the ones that have hustled, the ones that have just kept going with it, have managed to carve out a niche and keep it going. And that really is the key to this whole thing. Find your niche. Whatever your niche is. I mean, this from having podcasted for 10 years. I mean, it's the little, with the comics for you, or you do an episode where you just kind of go, hey, here's what's in my mail today, but you're talking about cool stuff that has appealed to people.
I think everyone's got that one thing that they're passionate about, and they love talking about it. Yeah. So that's what podcasting is all about. Just, all right, what do I love? Mm-hmm. And what can I talk about for 100 episodes? Without, because I love it so much.
Right.
That's your podcast right there. So, yeah.
When it comes to podcasting now, you kind of set me up for this because as the world kind of shut down, now the world's open again, but we're starting to see a couple things that could change things in the podcasting world. We know in Hollywood, the writer strike is going on.
Yeah.
In about 6 days, we got the vote for SAG-AFTRA when the actors are going on strike.
Yeah.
Do you see potentially more people from the world of Hollywood getting more, and we're already seeing a lot of them in the podcasting world. Do you see even more coming in if the strike goes on?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look at the top podcasts right now, a lot of them started by celebrities, which is great to see. I think they've seen. It's like, wait, I could do this. I don't. We think of celebrities being kind of coddled, and they got multiple assistants, and they don't have to really work. They even get what words to put in their mouth, right?
Right.
But a lot of them have independent projects.
Right.
A lot of them are great storytellers. A lot of them have
This
seen
is true. This is very true. Yeah.
things that we could only dream of, or even something as simple as like, oh, tell me the real story of working when you worked with Tom Cruise at one time. What really happened? And in a podcast, they can say whatever they want, so they can get really down deep with no restrictions. And I love that. And they can tell the real story.
And I'm going to apologize. I'm trying to remember the actor's name, but he was on the Superman series on CW.
Oh yeah, Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yes,
Thank
yes. Inside of You. Great podcast.
I really enjoy his podcast.
Yeah.
He's getting some great, and he's getting the celebrities to really, like you said, go even deeper.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, because you're getting stories that, as an interviewer, that's the kind of thing that I want to try to get. So I'm impressed by him.
Rosenbaum's amazing. I see him at ComicCons now, and I tell him as such, like, hey man, the episode with Kevin Smith and interviewed Jason Mewes. Great interview, man. Great interview. Yeah, my goal now is to get on there. So like, dude, I'll fly to your house where his studio's at.
I still can't believe that. And by the way, if you watch the podcast, the studio is incredible, and I can't believe it's in his house.
Yeah,
that's as good as any radio station studio I've worked on. And I look at it and go, this is mind blowing. It really, really is.
Yeah, actually, if you look really close, looks like a shared universe. So we have a very similar aesthetic where we just put the stuff we love on the walls. We've been to plenty of conventions where we've collected multiple items, and so Michael, if you're desperate for a guest, you're scraping the bottom of that barrel. I'm here for you, buddy.
Michael, please come on mine. That's all.
Oh yeah, and that too. Yeah, and then come on the A game with Acampora. Yeah, for sure.
You talk about the conventions and the tchotchkes that you have.
Yeah.
Being back on the road. I mean, have you been making up for lost time, or has it just been things that have been falling into your lap? Or because it just seems like now, this year especially, it's just been one after the other, and I'm happy for you. You love being on the road.
It's been nuts this year.
Yeah,
for sure.
It really has.
And I didn't plan to be this busy this year, but so I get invited to a lot of Comic-Cons, and
you do.
Because I was on a comic book based TV show.
Yeah, he had that 96 episode run on Comic Book Man on AMC. That only helps a little bit.
Yeah, but if you dig back in my past, I've been going to Comic Cons for 30 some odd years. Right. They just weren't this big. They weren't this fun. They weren't multi-day conventions.
So, let me segue to the beginning then. When you think about the early days of Comic-Cons, what was the thing that broke this? Was it San Diego that really kind of put this thing into orbit? In your mind, what really made the Comic-Con universe become the thing that we now know?
I think San Diego had a lot to do with it, where San Diego started as a Comic-Con, but it blew up into this, hey, we have a movie studio, we have a major movie coming up based on a pop culture property.
Right.
Let's go to San Diego to help market it and bring all the actors down there, like huge, super A-list marketers. Like, let's get Robert Downey Jr. down there. Let's get Harrison Ford down there. Right. This will really help. The fans are going to flip out when they appear on the stage at the big Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. And they did. And I think other conventions who previously, maybe didn't book celebrity guests, or, maybe not top tier ones, current ones, saw this and like, hey, it was going to take a little investment. We're going to have to pay a lot of money. But what if we did get, what if we did get like a Kevin Smith out here,
right.
Or like a Tom Holland to come to our con, or somebody current, somebody huge,
right.
And somebody based on a pop culture property? Would that draw a crowd to our convention? And sure enough, it did. So I think it got to, maybe they would book one and then two, and now 10. Now some of them have hundreds of celebrity guests, but and they worked that in. They're like, wow, okay, that. The bigger the guests, the more people are going to come out. The more tickets we're going to sell, and theoretically, the more money we make. So, and then not only does that attract ticket buyers, but also vendors, and getting bigger guests might attract other guests to come out.
Sure.
So, yeah, it kind of snowballed from there. So, I think, but I think San Diego, definitely had a huge part to do with it.
You recently did a condo in Alaska.
Yeah.
Was it Anchorage?
It was Anchorage, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna Connor, get a photo ready. I'm not ready. It'll be probably number 8, but I'll tell you when they hit it.
Okay.
But you wouldn't think of a con in Anchorage, but I would think, what a unique thing to have happen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got flown out, obviously.
Yeah.
Since I've never been there, what is Anchorage, Alaska like?
I thought it was Alaska, right? Log cabins and snow and
neighbors are 10 miles away.
Right, moose are everywhere.
Right.
No, we drove in. And I'm like, oh, they have a guitar center here. So, it's not as remote and rustic,
right,
as you think it is. They've got Walmarts and stuff down there. The difference is, you look out and you're surrounded by gorgeous mountains.
Yeah.
Amazing scenery, and I love dive bars. So Anchorage's got a very strong dive bar scene. It's a regular big city, but it just happens to be in Alaska. So very cool though, very cool. The food is amazing. I swear everything tasted better up there.
It's funny. I saw an episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, and I saw when he was traveling Alaska, and you just sit there and go, wow, you just didn't expect it. And you're like, okay, I'm drooling as I'm watching TV. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing, and large population. Now they do only have one comic book store chain up there, so it's not multiple.
Mm-hmm.
So these nuts threw a con that it's been running for 5 years, and it's called Arctic ComicCon, and there was a large convention center up in Anchorage,
right?
And I had a blast. I was up there with Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh wow, cool!
And Chandler Riggs from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, no.
And they had a pretty strong celebrity lineup.
No, that's a strong
artist
lineup right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they invited us. They call it the lower 48. That's how they refer to us down here. It's like, we brought up a bunch of people from the lower 48. So it's pretty cool.
And you're not afraid to go out and promote. Now we'll take photo number 8 because I think this is radio station. Yeah, hit it, Connor, if you can. It should be there.
Nope. Yeah, it'll show up.
Oh, it'll show up in a second. Or not. Anyway, you were on a radio station up in Anchorage, and sometimes you do that stuff to help promote. I mean, do you obviously? I know you know how to have fun, but
I do.
But as a podcaster, where you have more freedom, there you go. Pure Rock KZND. Yeah. When you're on a radio station, and I know this from being a radio guy, the limited time. I mean, as a podcaster, you can go half an hour, you can go 1 hour. You're going to be in there maybe 2 or 3 segments of 4 or 5 minutes a clip. I mean, is that hard for you to kind of sit there and go, okay, I know they're going to ask me about Comic Book Man. I know I got to plug the con and maybe get a few things in there.
It's very hard. Yeah. So this one, radio interview, you get what? Maybe on a good day, maybe you get 3 minutes. On a good day.
Honestly, I was lucky enough when good example, when I was in Wilmington, Delaware, and I'm doing a lot of celebrity guests. Maybe 6 is the max you'd get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little nepotism here. The DJ who interviewed me, he was also one of the con promoters. So.
Oh, there you go. That helped right there. Nice.
Yeah. So big shout out to Mike LaJoy, who is also a radio DJ.
Mike, respect to the DJ.
This interview is funny because he was recording it very early in the morning.
Okay.
And he knows I like to go out. So I'm at the convention. I'm like, hey, man, are you doing any radio? I'll come in and promote. He's like, I'm recording this thing tomorrow morning. And but don't worry about it. I'm like, wait. Don't worry about what? What time is it? And do you want to do it?
Right.
It's like, listen, I know you're going to be out. I kind of want to do it, but I know I don't want to put you out. And I'm like, dude, just tell me when to show up.
Right.
And sure enough, he's like, all right, 6:30. He gave me the address.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It'll help you. It'll help me. It'll help the convention. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
I love doing press. So now, was I out till 3:30 the morning before? Yes.
Yeah.
Did I wake up at 6 regretting my decision?
Yes.
Absolutely. But once I got there, you know how it is. The adrenaline kicks in. And, we podcast, but very rarely do I get to be in an actual radio station studio, which I love. Yeah. And we went, and so he pre-recorded it to spread across 2 radio stations later on. And I remember we went for about 7 minutes. Mm-hmm. And even then he was like, listen, we went a little longer, but I'm going to tell my bosses to go pound sand because we're running this whole thing. It was so good. So I'm like, okay,
nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. So, so to the station manager, sorry. But I'm not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, not sorry.
Yeah, these are the unique things you get to do that normal people. Well, I won't say normal people, but the average person's not going to get a chance to do. And then again, the benefit of having comic book men, and the benefit of being in Kevin Smith's world, and it has opened these opportunities. Yeah. The two I'm going to bring up, I know this wasn't this year, but I only found out about this from one of my other podcasts. Okay. You did Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? I still can't fathom a ComicCon in Dubai.
Yeah, I mean, there are multiple cons in the Mideast. So there's one in Kuwait. Mm-hmm. There's one called the Middle East Film and Comic-Con. So they have a film festival as well.
That's kind of cool.
That one's in Dubai. And then somebody started this one, which was the Middle East Comic-Con. So, or Comic-Con Dubai. So, yeah. I don't know. Somebody who I know who booked conventions approached me and she's like, hey, would you be interested in going to Dubai? I'm like, I mean, well, yeah,
it
but
could be a once-in-a-lifetime experience when you think about it.
Yeah, no, prior to that, most of my conventions are in the States. That's where we've aired. That's where we have an audience. Yeah. Overseas, not as much. So, while I would love to go, we just haven't aired as much as we did out here. Have not aired in Dubai yet. So I kind of like, I'd love to go. Sure. But they don't know who I am out there. So I was like, all right, this probably isn't going to happen. And then as the date came closer, it looked like it was going to happen. And then it happened. So, it was cool. A lot of friends came out.
Nice.
And they pretty strong roster. Chris Hemsworth, who you know as Thor.
Oh, come on, there you go.
And Julian Glover, who also in Game of Thrones, but more well known as the bad guy from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yep.
Yeah, and multiple things. The moms from Stranger Things. Yeah, they're pretty strong lineup.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah, and as I turned out, most of the people who live in Dubai, expatriates. So they. A lot of them saw the show here, then moved out there.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So they didn't know who I was. So it's pretty cool. It's very cool.
And a typical convention, do you get a lot of time? Like, let's go back to Dubai for a second. How much time do you maybe get to yourself that you can scout around and do a couple things other than maybe at night? Do you get some time where you can...
I make the time.
Okay, there you go. All right,
but you know, typically the con will run maybe 10 to 7.
Right.
So you've got quite a bit of time. Right. After, so you get out. Night is young, everybody. So, typically I'll do the con until 7. Go out, grab a cocktail somewhere, go find somewhere cool to eat, and then keep going from there. Usually a dive bar or like a locals only bar or something, or wherever.
One of the biggest reasons you should follow Ming Chen on socials is because he puts a lot of photos up on Instagram from all the locations that he goes to, and he's usually got some great videos as well. Matter of fact, his YouTube channel, follow that as well. On the YouTube channel, I will bring up Albuquerque.
Yes.
You made your stand-up comedy debut there.
I did. You saw that.
I did. You did pretty good. I mean,
not bad for my first time. Not awesome, but
it was one of those. At first I'll give him a 6.5 on that.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
For first time, it's better than a 1.5.
Yeah. But it's like anything else. You can tell. Instead of you weren't shaking, but you were looking at your phone a lot, which I can understand.
Oh yeah,
that was the crutch.
Well, it was an open mic, so I saw everybody else had notes. I'm like, all right, just so I don't I'm not gonna memorize all this. So so not quite at Chris Rock level yet.
Right.
But I'd go to an local open mic here, and I saw who came out, and it's tough. But I saw some of these guys, and it's an open mic, so everyone's gonna suck, pretty much. It's why they're at an open mic. Right. Either you're trying out material, or you're an amateur and you're just trying to find your footing. So shout out to everyone who gets up on that stage.
Amen.
But a lot of it is not great.
Right.
And so it was the instance where I was there, and I was like, I could do better than this. I could do better than this. And in your head, it's like, oh yeah, well, why don't you hop up there? It's like, all right, no.
Wait a minute.
Right now, yeah. But I happened to be in Albuquerque. It's actually, it sounds weird, but I was shooting a movie there. A one-day role as an Asian mob boss.
What's the name of the movie?
It's called The Unexpecteds.
When's this coming out?
Should be out this summer, actually.
Oh, cool.
And it's it's a legit movie.
Nice.
It's independent, but it's shot by a gentleman by the name of Alejandro Montoya Marin, who was a contestant on Robert Rodriguez' Rebel Without a Crew.
Okay.
So he's a legit filmmaker. He's got multiple movies out, either on streaming or have been in theaters. And we actually met at Kevin Smith's film festival, the Smodcastle film fest.
Nice.
Started drinking at the bar, started talking about movies, and he was like, "Hey, got a one-day role as an Asian mob boss coming up in Albuquerque. Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Send me the script. I'm in."
I'll memorize. I'll do this.
Yeah, but while I was out there, between setups we shot in the morning, I remembered my friend Holly ran an open mic that night, and I was like, "You know what? If I get out in time, I'm just gonna do it. I'm really just gonna do it. I'm gonna."
This all happened in one day.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So while between setups, you've been on a film set there.
Yeah,
long.
absolutely, yeah.
You're waiting half the time. Started writing jokes, read them over. Like, these are solid. These are good. All I gotta do is deliver these.
Right.
And I was out by I think 4:00, and the open mic started at 9.
Awesome.
So I was like, I'm gonna do it. Why not? I'm in Albuquerque, and it was kind of like Clerks. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. So
quoting Brian O'Halloran,
Quoting the great
channeling
Brian
our inner
O'Halloran.
Dante. There you go.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, well, let's do it. So yeah, I went. I got up there, and it was fun. Open mic, you typically get 4 to 5 minutes.
Right.
And I remember my friend was like, "Oh man, it's gonna seem like forever up there," and it didn't. It flew. I had a fun time.
Good. So obviously you're going to do that again. Well, let me go back to the acting. Is that something, not that it was in the plans, but you're more receptive now to be like, hey, look, I'd like to do a couple roles here and there if possible.
Yeah, small. I'm not an actor.
Right, right.
It's funny. A lot of when people introduce me at events or Comic-Cons, it'll be, reality show cast member, podcaster, actor. They'll list actor just. I got a couple IMDb credits, but
I do. He does, as a matter of fact.
I've never taken an acting class. I have no aspirations of being an actor. But these like one-day roles where you have maybe a line or maybe 3 lines, awesome. Yeah. They're great. You're in and out. You're part of the production. Hopefully you don't get cut. Sometimes you get paid.
Yeah, there's a little bit of money too. There you go.
But in the end, fun. That's why I do anything, fun. And if anybody's doing a horror movie, you want an Asian guy, you want to cut his head off as a plot point, I'm right here. You need maybe the guy that pops up at in the party scene. There you go. Like the Shermanator in American Pie.
Yes.
Short but sweet, or John Cho. It's documented. He coined the term MILF in the first American Pie.
He did, yeah.
An Asian coined that term. Then later I got to be Sulu, but yes. Yeah, like that, I'll gladly do that. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing heavy lifting, but you never know. But it's fun. It's fun.
And that's the key, I think, for any of you or Mr. O'Halloran, since we brought him up, and any of the semi-regulars that are on the circuit doing the Comic-Cons, you got to have fun with this, because if you're not having fun, because you're giving back to the audience. I would think that people who are getting the autographs and the photos can sense that you're not into it.
Oh yeah. There are plenty of convention guests. You can tell they don't want to be there.
I'm not saying names,
nope,
but there are names. No, I wouldn't ask you to do that. But there are a couple that pop up here and there. But then you're gonna go, what?
Yeah, I was like, why is he here? He's not even, it looks is he having a good time? It doesn't look like it. Right. And then you go to meet them, and they're very short. And I'll name one name, Brian Johnson, man. For a while, he was that guy. Guy. Really grumpy at the table on his iPad. He's much better. He's much better now. He has a lot of fun now. But
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. But for a while, I'm like, dude, come on. And I'd have to be at the table with him, like, dude, can you act just a little bit? Just act a little bit like you're having a good time. He couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So, but that was also kind of his persona on the show.
Well, you got a good point there. That kind of is the persona he took on.
Yeah.
Ming Chen's next appearance, as a matter of fact, he's leaving here tonight and heading to the road. Connor, photo number 9, because I'll give a quick plug to this. He will be heading out to Des Moines, Iowa, for the Iowa Events Center. It's all this weekend. 2 days with Ming Chen, and anybody else from the crew going to be out there?
Not our crew, but if you like The Walking Dead, Ross Marquand will be out there. Who played Aaron. Daniel Logan, who was affectionately we call him Baby Boba Fett. He was the young Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones.
Nice.
He will be there. Amy Jo Johnson and David Yost, if you're a Power Rangers fan.
Power Rangers, I know.
Yeah, blue and pink, respectively. It's pretty cool guest list.
Funny story about Amy Jo. I interviewed her when I was on the radio in WSCW in Wilmington. I brought that up. I wanted to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
But she was also promoting a show that was on CBS at that point, was a cop series and featured Enrico Colantoni as the lead, called Flashpoint. Now, this is a big hit in Canada.
Yeah.
And CBS was actually one of the first networks to kind of take a show from the Canadian Broadcasting Company and put it on, and it did well. But I think at that point, it was interesting. She was trying to distance herself so much from the power, and now she's embracing it with open arms, which I find very interesting. So obviously, I guess everybody's got to go through that process to say, "Hey, look, it was a fun time."
Right.
And if you're going to be out there, obviously,
I can do more.
Yeah.
I'm an actor. I have more range than the Power Rangers.
Oh, absolutely, no. And I gave her full props to that because I was a fan of the show.
But when you have 30 million Power Rangers fans, like you don't ignore that as well.
Well said.
And if they're all dying to meet you, a lot of them you've changed their lives, or you were there with them during hard times, or they just enjoyed your work.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're there with a fistful of cash, just waiting to hand it over for an autograph or a selfie. Yeah, you don't ignore that.
No,
so
you can't.
Yeah,
you can't. And that's the whole point of if you've never been to a Comic-Con, it's really that fun experience, and you get some crazy people who are there to have a really good time. And once in a while, and I was doing some homework on this. Some celebrities have actually gone out into the crowd and actually dressed up in costume.
Oh yeah,
and kind of gone incognito. I was reading up about Timberlake one year dressed himself as Ernie. Simon Pegg is dressed as Shaun of the Dead, but with a helmet from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, at one of your appearances, does anything like that stand out in your head?
I mean, no one's gone incognito where I remember Bryan Cranston wearing a Walter White rubber mask.
I heard about that.
And the hazmat suit.
Yeah.
And then he revealed that it was him later on, which I thought that was cool.
Definitely.
I think Mark Hamill has done that. He's gone in cosplay and wandered the crowd. So it's the only way they can do it now. Sadly.
Yeah.
They can't do it without dressing up, or they'll get mobbed.
Mark Hamill, he'd get tackled. What are you kidding me?
Oh yeah. Yeah. But he's been known, going from place to place.
Right.
If people stop him, he'll take a selfie with them, which is cool.
No, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Ming Chen is here on the A Game. We're at his place, the Shared Universe Studios. He knows my drill.
Is it that time?
It's time for Random Shots.
Okay.
By the way, tell me about this Basil Hayden.
One of the best bourbons out there, and not super expensive. Maybe $45 for a bottle.
Oh, that's
but
not bad at all.
Just a solid bourbon, my friend.
Just tell me when to say when.
That sounds good, right there. Ooh yeah, look at that.
All right. Yes.
Cheers.
I appreciate that. Cheers to you on this.
So that must mean it's time for
Random Shots.
Random Shots, everybody.
Go. Oh my God, that is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh wow,
it's good. Really good.
Goes down nice. No bitterness. No on fire on the throat. That was nice.
Yeah. Everyone should have a bottle of Basil Hayden's in there.
You've been a bit of an aficionado with this, because I know from just what you keep here. I mean, is this one of your favorites right now? Or
it is, yeah. A guy from the National Guard brought it to me. Brings me a bottle of something every year to the Alabama area, and this was the gift this year. So
bravo to him.
So yeah, thank you, my friend.
For Random Shots, I've lined up a bunch of photos. We're going to call this segment "Where's Ming?"
Okay.
It makes sense because Ming is everywhere when he's traveling the country. So with that, he more than likely will tell you where he was when he sees the photo. If I stump him, great.
Okay.
But since we did mention Brian O'Halloran earlier, Connor, photo number 1, please.
All right.
Great photo. Where are you in this?
That's the Huntsville Airport, the aforementioned Huntsville. Brian O'Halloran, we've been doing a lot of cons in the last year with the emergence of Clerks 3. A lot of conventions have been booking the entire cast.
Right. And you've been actually hosting some panels, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. So usually the Clerks 3 panel or like the View Askew panel, they'll ask me to host. That way the cast members can answer questions.
Right.
And I'm kind of an offshoot from the family, so I get invited to the conventions as well.
But I would think that makes a lot of sense, because there's a comfort zone with you and the entire cast.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And a good example, I'll take photo number 7 since we're talking about it. Where was this one?
That is Pensacola, Florida, at the almighty Pensacon.
Yeah. Now, explain Pensacon, because I think this is one of the bigger ones on the circuit. Is it not?
It is. Not only that, Pensacon's unique in where they throw the convention,
right?
Well, the whole city embraces it. So the moment you fly into the airport,
right,
they change the Pensacola Airport to the Pensacola Intergalactic Spaceport. So every gate,
that's great.
Every gate, instead of B4, now it's Stargate 4. And then you might be walking to get your luggage.
Yeah.
Darth Vader and R2D2 might pass you by. They stock it full of cosplayers, and then when you get downtown, most of the restaurants have picked a theme.
Right.
One will do the Star Wars Cantina. One will do the bridge from Star Trek.
Yeah.
One will do Stranger Things, and it was pretty amazing. So every year our friend CJ Cullen comes down
and chimed in on Facebook saying
yeah.
Pensacola panel was the bomb.
Yeah, and that
it looks like it was the bomb.
Yeah, the Clerks 3 panel in particular was amazing. It was. I mean, we've done cast panels before, but this one had a bigger energy. I felt
nice.
I believe it's online. Austin Azure, who was in Clerks 3, he plays the blockchain.
Yeah,
he's a big YouTuber, documenter. I believe he recorded the panel, so you can go on YouTube and watch it.
Oh, nice.
But if you see from that photo, if you throw it up one more time.
Yeah, let's put that up one more time. There you go.
I mean, that's a massive crowd back there.
You can tell that beyond packed the room.
Yeah.
And by the way, recognizing not only Brian, but there's Marilyn Gigliotti, just Scotty Schiaffo, and
it's Trevor Fairman on the left, Jeff Anderson up on the top right.
And I got to tell you, I am so happy to see Jeff out here having.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jeff's really enjoying this with Brian. I know they've been joined at the hip over the last year with this, and they should be because, I mean, there's no Clerks 3 if you don't have Dante and Randall.
Yeah. Exactly. And for a while, we didn't know where he was, so kind of separated himself for a little bit. Yeah. But he's back in now, so I'm very, very happy.
Jeff, welcome back to the family.
Thank you, Jeff.
Proud
You're amazing. You're amazing. We love you.
Let me go to photo number 2. And this is one of those times where you're out and you got some time. So what ballpark are you at here?
This is also in Huntsville. Their minor league team is unique in as much as it's called the Huntsville, the Rocket City Trash
Pandas. Yes.
Huntsville, they build rockets there for NASA, for space exploration.
I did not know that's why they call it Rocket City.
Yeah, okay, a lot of they have a big rocket building and center. A lot of smart people are in Huntsville, and they have a minor league team called the Trash Pandas. So the marketing's through the charts, man.
That's cool.
Who doesn't want a piece of Trash Pandas memorabilia?
I would. I mean, when it comes to that, now, if I remember correctly, when I interviewed Mike Zapsik, you had the chance to drop a puck in a minor league hockey game.
Yes.
And you did that with the Toledo Walleye, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, good memory. But you have never thrown out a pitch in a minor league game yet.
It's not true.
I've
done it several times.
All right.
First time I did it, there was a short season Class A league called the New York Penn League.
No way.
And maybe about 15 years ago, they held a logo contest. They wanted to refresh the overall logo for their entire league.
Okay.
And I won. I submitted several logos. One of them got picked.
Nice.
And I won. And one of the prizes was you got to throw the first pitch out at the All-Star game, which was in Troy, New York. So I got to do that.
Bad. Yeah.
And then I think 2 years later, then another logo contest, which I also won for the All-Star game 2 years later. So I got to throw the first pitch for that.
Right.
And then the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
Kyle Ripken's team, absolutely.
Yes, also affiliate for my favorite team, the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
Invited me out to throw out a first pitch.
See, now that I know was probably a bigger thrill. Is it growing up an Orioles fan? Yeah.
That was cool. And then, one day the summer that Patriots, our very own minor league team here.
Oh yeah, TD Bank Park, which was an independent league team. Now the Yankees' smartest move ever did was taking Somerset for AA.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great place. Yeah, and they're like, hey, we're doing a comic book night. You want to come up, set up a table? Also, would you like to throw out the first pitch? And absolutely. So I've done it. I guess 4 or 5 times.
That's still on my list of like. I got to throw out. I have not thrown out a first pitch. I'm like going, hey, Jersey Shore Blue Claws, please.
Yeah, or Somerset.
Somerset. I'd be happy to do that. That'd be cool.
For sure. You got a good arm. And, it's funny. When you get up there, they're like, all right, throw it. You can throw it anywhere in front of the mound. I'm like, I'm getting on the mound, man. I'm throwing it off the rubber. Exactly. 60 feet, 6 inches. I'm going to be my own Nolan Ryan up there.
Even though the ball's going 42 miles an hour, I don't care.
Yeah, and so far so good. No 50 Cent Mariah Carey throws yet.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I didn't hit a cameraman in the nuts.
Look, you want to be successful on YouTube, that's not the way to do it.
No. Yeah.
Patting our part, aren't we, Connor? I love it.
None of that. So, I got it. Maybe my first few were maybe a little high, but it was down the middle. So.
Amen to that on that. I like this photo. This is photo number 3. Now, this is kind of cool. So you're obviously doing karaoke.
Yes.
Now, I've heard stories on the circuit Brian O'Halloran's done this thing called heavy metal karaoke,
Yeah.
and he's done that in a couple of cities. But this wasn't that. But where was this, and what was going on?
This is in Prince George, British Columbia, which is about an 8-hour drive north of Vancouver.
Oh, you're
So it's
really
way
out
up
in the
there.
Canadian outback. Oh,
It's way
wow.
up there.
Yeah.
This nut named Norm throws a con up there every year, and I get invited. But that photo in particular was unique. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna do live band karaoke this year.
Whoa, live band. Oh,
Are you in? Would you like to host it?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So, it is what you think it is. It's karaoke, but without the internet backing track and the lyrics.
Yeah.
They have a band up there, and they have a lineup of typically 50 to 75 songs that they know.
Right.
And you sing up there with the band, and it's amazing. It's the closest thing to being a lead singer in a band that you're going to get without starting your own band. So it's pretty cool.
That sounds like that's just an incredible experience. So, I mean, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, CJ calling, were you singing Teenage Dirtbag, which is on the roster, a very easy song to sing. No, I saw they 2 Foo Fighters songs.
Oh, there you go. Good choice.
On there. It was, Learning to Fly.
Good one.
And Everlong. I'm doing Everlong, man. I'm going to do Everlong. So that was me being Dave Grohl up on the stage.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Random shots with Ming Chen. This is Where's Ming? How about photo number 6, Connor? Now, this is part of your, in a sense, stomping ground.
Yeah.
You're in where?
Houston, Texas.
Now, how did the whole thing with Houston come into play? Because do you have a stake in this place that we're talking about?
I do. I'm a partner in a gaming cafe in Houston, Texas called Coral Sword.
Right.
But the best gaming cafe in the world, in my opinion. But we also have a very high-end streaming booth in there.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is so my whole connection with Houston started about 9 years ago. Found out I had a long-lost cousin out there. Found out we were way into the same things. So I wanted to go. I'd never been to Houston before,
Right.
but I wanted to go down there and hang out with her. And I was like, well, the easiest way to get a trip down to Houston is to find out if they have a ComicCon down there.
Sure.
And to see if I can get invited.
Right.
So I literally went online, found out there's a major comic book convention down there called Comicpalooza. Hit them up on Twitter, asked them if I could come, and they invited me. And that started off a very cool long-term relationship. I went down there with Mike Zapsik. Yeah. Brian Johnson was supposed to come, but he didn't make it. They invited Jason Mewes, and we had a blast down there. Nice. It was a 4-day convention. Made so many friends. They welcomed me, and yeah, I left a part of myself in that city. Partied with my cousin. Like, it couldn't have gone any better. And we had so much fun, and we were having so much fun that they kept inviting me back. So, and
then you wound up getting into business, and
oddly enough, I met a entrepreneur out there by the name of David Buer.
Okay,
he owns 4 or 5 businesses out there, primarily the high end coffee shops out there. But one day we started kind of talking about, well, what if we had like a gaming and comics cafe with board gaming, card gaming, video gaming,
that's
plus
cool.
Like a comic book library and beer, wine, and coffee. And
I love this.
And lo and behold, it was built. The thing that really launched it into orbit was we befriended Major League Baseball player Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence, who played for a lot of teams, including the Phillies,
Yep.
and wrapped up his career in Texas with the Rangers.
Yeah, but
I mean, he did play in San Francisco. I think he was hurt because, I mean, he had such a great comeback year, and then unfortunately the next year I swear he's hurt. And he's on the MLB Network now.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Went down to the Dominican, worked on his swing, and came back, won comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great story. Great story.
But also a hero to Houston, played many years for the Astros.
Yeah, absolutely. So it makes sense to kind of draft somebody who's still well loved by the Houston fans. Yeah.
But little known fact though, huge Magic the Gathering player and huge gamer as well. So
never knew that.
Yeah, huge. So he was popping up at the coffee shops daily. We befriended him, and excuse me.
Sure.
And one day he was like, "Hey, what's this? I hear about you guys want to do a gaming cafe." That's something we've been throwing around.
Right.
I want in, and
oh man, you gotta love that.
So him and his wife Lex are huge parts of the Coral Sword as well. So,
why isn't this concept like spread out? Because I see this.
It will.
Okay.
It will. Just we opened. Just hit our 5-year anniversary.
Congrats.
I was in there multiple times this week. It was packed. So the idea it has not only worked, but it's taken off. And
because I can see this in a lot of major cities really being popular. I can see it here on the Jersey Shore gaining momentum. I can really see that.
Yeah, basically, you can go and enjoy a great, the best cup of coffee in town,
right?
Beer or wine, and then we have a board game library. Hundreds of games you can sit down and play with your friends. So anything as simple as Jenga to Settlers of Catan or Ticket to Ride or Gloomhaven, which is like one of those complicated games out there.
Right.
We have it's a big Magic the Gathering community. So if you're a Magic player or a card game player, we got room for you. Bring your gaming mats. Bring your decks and come on and play. So it's pretty cool. But I think the unique component is in the back right corner. There's a high-end streaming booth that we've invested a lot of money into. Looks amazing, and you can do this. You can sit down and stream your podcast or your show, or Twitch stream your video game.
I think I'm out of excuses. I think I got to go to Houston. I have to. Yeah,
you really do. Yeah, it's my favorite thing is bringing new people, and it's great if they've podcasted before, and like sit down, let's podcast. Like, whoa. This is cool.
I want you to share one story, if I'm remembering correctly, because I remember you telling me about this in Houston. There's a bar there that actually does indoor dodgeball.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about this. This sounds like the coolest thing ever.
There's a place called Pitch 25. It's a big sports bar, but inside the sports bar, there's a recessed indoor soccer field. Mm-hmm. So they've got a league, or you can play indoor soccer.
Right.
One time we were in Houston, a bunch of the Jersey crew. CJ Cullen, a bunch of our friends, and this woman comes around with the clipboard. She's like, "Hey, you guys signing up?" We're like, "For what?"
Right.
They're like, "Well, we do pick up indoor dodgeball every Friday night at 9. Would you like to play?" We're like, we look at each other. We're like, "Oh yeah, we're playing.
We're in."
Grant, I haven't picked up a dodgeball in 20, 30 years.
But still, I mean, come on, this sounds
When in Houston,
do as you do in Houston.
Yeah, it was great. So the first year, 3 of us went down, signed up,
right,
and playground rules. So you catch the other ball, they're out. You get hit, they're out. You catch it, another guy gets to come back in.
Sure.
And it was best of 3. So we're like, all right, we're old men in our 40s. We had a couple younger people who joined in our 5-person team.
Right.
Like, all right, who are we playing? And in comes a bunch of 20-year-olds, male, female. They were pretty jacked. I think one was on some kind of like semi-pro soccer team.
Oh God.
And they're like, all right, we're gonna clock's clean, but we're gonna have fun.
Right.
And we ended up winning all 3 games.
Oh, nice.
It was shocking. And afterwards, we were like, how did that happen? We're old, we're slow. And what we learned was in 2023, they don't play dodgeball anymore at school. It's not woke. It's not woke to throw balls. You can't throw a ball as hard as you can at somebody else's head now. That's not. Well,
10 years ago you could, because there's the movie Bad Teacher that you're throwing it at Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, but us, like if we didn't do it, we failed gym. Yeah, we didn't do it. But now
this is true, kids. Yeah. It's the absolute truth.
Yeah, but now they don't play dodgeball. So, they're like, eh. Yeah, so it was great. It was great. We won handily that year.
I was glad. I wanted you to share that story.
Yeah, so if you're down there, next year we played, got our clocks cleaned, so it was a humbling experience. This year we're like, oh man, my knees are really sore, man. I don't know about this. So we've kind of retired this year, but if anybody does want to go play, I'll jump in there with you. I always tweak my knee. My other friend got a chunk taken out of his calf, so left a piece of himself on the field. And it's not that hardcore. It's just we're just old.
Yeah, we're old. It's like we can't help it. Mother Nature, stop it. Stop it. Damn it.
Yeah, but but we play like we're 17, but we're not 17. Man.
It's like going mentally we're 17. The body's like going F you.
Yeah, so we may be back at one point. We may be back. It was fun.
A couple more photos before we wrap up. I want, since we were talking about Brian Johnson, Mike Zapcic, photo number 4. This is you and Zapcic. Where are you in the country? Can you recognize this?
This looks fairly recent. I believe this is a town called Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Very good.
Town 2 hours south of St. Louis, Missouri.
I was wondering if I was going to stump you on this one, but I didn't think.
Yeah. It's sometimes hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, the clues are, is Mike clean shaven, or does he have a goatee?
This is true.
Am I 20 pounds fatter? Okay, that's current. So
no, but it's good to see Mike out there. I mean,
it is.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, getting you guys, the whole group of comic book men, don't get to do it all the time. Do you see that maybe later this year potentially? More of the whole crew coming together?
Probably not. So Walt doesn't fly. So that eliminates anything outside the tribal radius.
Gotcha.
Mike is full-time manager of the store now.
No, I understand.
He doesn't have a lot of time to get out.
Yeah.
And Brian, who knows? I love it. I love it when we all go out, though. We all have a great time.
Right.
People love seeing us together, in their town. I think it's a great thing. So, but I'm not stopping.
No. But I mean,
too much fun.
The best chance of getting the four of you together would probably be something in Jersey if it were like HorrorCon in Atlantic City or something like that.
Yeah. Or we may go as far as like the Pittsburgh area,
there you go.
or something like that. So anything drivable, Niagara Falls maybe.
Oh, there you go.
That could happen. So yeah, we would love to come on.
Yeah, I want to see that definitely.
Yeah.
One more photo, and when you talk about moments with Kevin Smith, you got to kind of hit that. I'm going back a little bit, and obviously this is Kevin before he lost all the weight.
Right.
But when I found this, I was looking at it and going, "Oh, this is a cool moment in the world of Kevin and you hanging out with him." This was a street hockey thing that actually managed to make its way onto the Canadian version of ESPN, which is TSN Sports Network. So you're getting exposure for a street hockey tournament, if I got that right?
Yeah. No, it did have a name behind it. It was hosted by Wayne Gretzky's dad, Walter.
Oh.
And it did take place in Wayne Gretzky's hometown of Brantford, Ontario.
Oh,
so
nice.
back in 2009, Kevin became obsessed with Wayne Gretzky. It was kind of like
I didn't realize that. Wow.
Midlife crisis thing. Yeah, who knows? But it was Wayne Gretzky 24/7. He talked about him incessantly and often, and kind of fueled him getting up every morning and motivating to do what he did. And he learned that his dad hosted a street hockey tournament in Wayne's hometown of Brantford, and it was kind of on its way out. They were in the third year and they didn't have a lot of entries. So I remember Kevin hitting me up. He was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about forming a street hockey team to play in a tournament in Canada. Do you want in? You want to be on the team?" I'm like, I'm
sure.
Wasn't really into hockey at the time. Like, I don't know if I even touched a stick at that point. Maybe I played some floor hockey in gym, but I was like, okay, I don't have to skate. We run street hockey. Great. Little orange ball. And I get to play with my friends on our own team. Let's do it. I'm in. So started practicing. And not only did we form our own team, which was called Puck U, but a lot of Kevin's fans formed their own teams as well.
Wow.
Kind of offshoot fan teams.
Sure.
So there was the Movies Flood Employees. There's the Monroeville Zombies, based on a team Kevin created for a movie.
Oh, wow.
And there's the Leonardo Reapers. Same thing if you watch
Leonardo
Clerks too.
Of course.
Clerks, yeah. And we went up, had a great time, got our clocks cleaned. These are hardcore Canadian teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Drinking beer and playing, with each other for like 10, 15 years.
And remembering, when you're drinking Canadian beer, it's moonshine. I'm telling you.
Yeah. But we had such a great time that Kevin was like, all right, let's go back next year, bigger and badder. And he had caught wind of a Guinness Book of World Records entry, which had most teams entered in a street hockey tournament. And there was one from a place called Ladybird, Canada, which had like 150 teams entered.
Where is Ladybird?
It's on the West Coast, I believe, near Vancouver. He's like, 150, we can beat that. Right. Let's set the record. Okay. So he reached out to all of Canada, all of US, everyone come up, enter a team. We're going to try to break this world record. And we did. I think we had 210 teams entered. Wow. So if you pick up the 2010 Guinness Book of World Records, there's a little photo of us sitting around a Zamboni. We're wearing Puck U jerseys. We're having a great old time. So, but I think the most interesting part about all that was Kevin played goalie.
Right.
Kevin played a great goalie. So much so that we actually made the playoffs that year.
Oh, wow.
Now, granted, by that year, they're like, okay, you guys, we love that you're here, but you guys all suck. So we're putting you in your own division. So you guys battle it out against each other in the
novice league.
Yeah. And then, the best team from that, with the most wins will be entered into the playoffs. After that, you're on your own. We're not. Yeah. So we got to the playoffs and we got killed, but yeah.
I mean, I could spend all night with some of these stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. And coincidentally, it's going on this weekend again. So,
oh, really?
That tournament almost died, but now they're in, their 13th year, I think.
No, I know Canada's been a little slower to get back into the realm of everything, but I'm happy.
Yeah, but they're going, a lot of the Kevin Smith teams are going up. Kevin's going to be there doing a Q&A in Brantford tomorrow on Friday. So,
no, that explains why you guys are kind of separated this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. So, so that lives on, but it's all thanks to Kevin.
I'll tell you something. I mean, you have been very blessed to have had some of the experiences you've had.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, the reason I had to bring you back and do it differently, because you want to go back to my YouTube channel. It's the first episode, and I was still learning this. So, I mean,
you're great.
Thank you. You're very kind.
You're great.
But it was still this learning curve, and it was, in a weird way, it was kind of introducing Ming to people who didn't know Ming. By this point, most people know who Ming Chen is, but it's also getting a look at the world that he's in. Because if you've never experienced a Comic-Con, hopefully this will convince you to go to one, because it's a fun day. You get an experience with people, actors and actresses that maybe you've never thought you could have a one-on-one experience with.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there are many regulars on the circuit, and it's funny, a couple of names come. Amanda Bierce, who was on Married with Children. Eric Roberts shows up a lot in these events, and then occasionally you get these one or two, like you said, Anthony Michael Hall recently. See, right there, I'd be like,
legends, icons.
Yeah, I'd be online to get an autograph for Anthony Michael Hall, because you'd think to yourself, he doesn't do much anymore. So I'm happy to hear these making these appearances. Yeah.
And I love back in the day, if you're a guest at a Comic-Con, kind of meant you were washed up. Your career was over, and
I didn't want to say that, but you're right. There was sort of that stigma, and then you could go back even 6 years ago. I think is the best way to say it. And then all of a sudden, it's changed.
Yeah. Now if you're at a con, you're cool.
Yeah,
you're really cool. If you're in a hit show and you're not at a con, get a different agent, get a new agent, because you should be out there. It's easy marketing.
Right.
It's a great way to meet your fans. And and not for nothing, but you charge for a couple bucks for an autograph, so which is making people happy,
right?
So you make a couple bucks too. So it's fine. I know a lot of the Walking Dead cast members are like, we make more in one weekend than we do a couple multiple episodes of The Walking Dead. Well, that's just how it is economically.
Well, this is a perfect way to go out on, because I'm noticing that it seems to be an option for actors and actresses to sit there and say, I could do a bad movie and have a paycheck, or I can go to these cons, connect with my audience, have a good time, and maybe make a better decision in my career. And I think that's become more the mainstream than ever before. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And these conventions aren't stopping, my friends. So it's Brian
O'Halloran.
The O'Halloran in the house. Mingos and Cons for booze and karaoke. That makes two of us, my friend. That makes two of us. Yeah, if you ever need to find me and Brian O'Halloran after a con, it's like, where's the karaoke happening? Okay. Or we'll be hosting the party.
You go.
We've hosted multiple after-con karaoke parties.
Yeah, I know.
And we do it because we love it.
I know that from what Brian tells me.
Yeah.
You guys have a blast.
Yes, we do.
And from what I understand, and Brian, I'm calling you out on this. I hear you're the cruise director. The Julie McCoy of the Comic-Con circuit. So
absolutely. With a little Captain Stewing.
Captain Stewing thrown in, as a matter of fact. Ming, I'm glad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Congratulations. Almost at the century mark,
We're
my
at
friends.
98, getting to 100.
Yeah, man.
O'Halloran, you know what 100's going to be? Yeah, it's going to be you. It's got to be.
Yes.
But while I say that, Connor, put up one more photo, because I want to reemphasize where Ming is this weekend. It's photo number 9. For our friends who are in Iowa, have a blast with our friend Ming Chen. At the Iowa Events Center, it's June 3rd and 4th. That's this Saturday and Sunday. The hours again are?
Saturday 10 to 7, Sunday 10 to 5. So come on out.
Yeah, and the movie you mentioned before, mention it one more time.
It's called The Unexpecteds. Mm-hmm. It should be out probably sometime this summer, hitting the film festival circuit.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully it will be done in time for the upcoming Smodcastle Film Festival, which will probably be this fall.
Right, so our friends in Jersey come out. That's usually end of November, early December.
Yeah, so if you want to see Ming Chen as an Asian mob boss,
there you go.
That's your chance.
This is the man who is responsible for A Shared Universe and giving me my start in podcasting. If you ever thought about doing a podcast, no matter where you are on this planet. You can do it remotely. You can do it in Jersey. Look up ashareduniverse.com, and basically he'll give you all the tools that you need to set up the podcast, help you promote it, and do all the things that you want to do with it. And that right there has been a great service, and cheers to you for that.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, absolutely. You need more in there.
I know. I got to do one more before we get out of here.
But don't
just enough to kind of say goodbye here. But this is 98 in the books, 2 to go.
Amazing.
In a month of View Askew. Thank you very much. My thanks again to Ming Chen. My name is Rob Acampora. I am getting a bottle of this for sure. And later this month, that one, I'm like going, thank you, Brian O'Halloran, for checking in, and I will have to have a long talk with him because he in my head was going to be, he has to be number 100.
I agree.
I mean, I've known the guy for too many years. Sadly, he knows too much about me, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
Hey, that's a wrap for now. Hey, don't forget, check out my YouTube channel. If you've never signed up for it, it's there for you. Find this video. You'll find 97 other episodes that are just as good as this, if not better. Nah, I don't think so. But you're going to find 97 episodes that are
really good. They're amazing.
Thank you very much. Until next time, for Ming Chen, I'm Rob Acampora. That's a wrap for this in the A Game. Cheers to you. Have a great week.